So this is part 3 of So Single, and like talking about that shelter. Like my eyes look really tired. I can hardly look at my computer screen. My eyes are so tired. I mean, lemonade yesterday without lemon. I forgot. I was so tired, and I was gonna go to the store and get gas, and I was like, dude, I'm going to bed. I can't handle this. Like, because it's like somebody died, a 92, 93-year-old lady. They were parking a car in a senior housing program place, and they hit a car, and then they head on into a tree, and then she hit another car. The person driving, I don't think she was driving. I think she was the passenger. Two passenger driver, and then they hit another car, another parked car that those people had to go to the hospital. And their car freaking flipped over, and the lady died. Oh my god! Like, so it's like when you're tired and you make lemonade without the lemon, you're tired. Just it's not worth. You have to drive to get the kids sour cream. By the way, I gotta tell my kid I got sour cream. So I used to have my kids with me all the time, and I thought in my mind, these kids are with me, and I'm people. I don't have any rings on, no wedding ring, no engagement ring. I'm a single mom. People don't know that I'm single. But I'd go to meetings and people knew that I was single, but the only people that talked to me, like no women, barely few women, and no single guys, and only married guys. And there'd be like a couple of one or two single, like usually it was one or less single guys at church. It was really like 0 to 1 single guy at church. I'd be like, oh, he's a nice guy, let's talk to him. Or there's people that would get divorced within the church and stuff, them and their ex-wife and the ex-wife's new husband, all these blended children would be in the church. So I was like, oh, that guy's nice. They're telling me something why they got divorced. They're like, this person's doing something they shouldn't do. I was like, what, porn? I don't know. Like, what is it? I'm kind of scared of. I'm I'm kind of scared. Like, are they hurting your animals? Like, I was really scared. I never found out, but I was like, this guy doesn't seem that bad. So they wouldn't talk to me back. It would only be like married dudes. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. You're married. If your wife wants to hang out, if your wife wants to go to tea, I'm down for that. But they never did. So I kind of shied away from like looking at um, guys. No, I didn't shy away, but I don't. My one of the big. I'm going to show you this picture. One of the big things that led me to divorce was adultery from my ex, and I don't want anyone to even think that I'm trying to hit on their husband, or like I barely want to say. I barely want to even say, this is me. I was posing for my kid. And it reminds me of the Terminator. Oh yeah, this was my like. I'm gonna be incognito. Terminator. I can't see the headphones. Oh, there you go. When the bad guy, does he get shot? What does he get? Like the liquid metal guy. He's like, "Ooh." Like I watched that movie so many times, Terminator 2 and Terminator 1, but I was like, I was thinking of that part. I just think it's funny. Like I just think his facial expression is funny. I really like old movies. I don't know if I really like them, but I really like watching new movies. I say I don't know if I like them because I have VHS tapes and I don't really have. I have a ton of DVDs. I should sell them. I got rid of all the cases, but we would always get that like $2.99, specials for the holidays. When the kids were little. Um, oh God, I just want to cry. I don't know if I have a choice. I never had cable or Netflix as an adult, especially as a single mom, and I never like buy movies. I rented a red box movie once when I lived on the east side, like one time, like $1. Um, I get stuff from the library, but it's not very new. Um, I wanted Kung Fu Panda 2 for my son's birthday, one of the kids' birthday, and I think it took like 8 months till my name came up. And of course, it was like there was like 375 on hold, and we don't even have the movie in the shop. I'm so tired. I gotta like take it. I'm seriously gonna take a nap. Part 3 is I talk about my belief in a higher power, and I don't want to do something just because I feel like it. I can't force a guy to call me or date me, even if I see somebody and they're like look like staring at you like they want to ask you out. Like I I've tried a few times to be like, oh yeah, you want to hang out or something, or like they act like they want to ask me out, so I kind of like nudge them and like give them my number, and then they don't call. And I also have this thing where I don't answer unknown numbers, and so they very well could call, and then I have one of my business greetings, I don't even know what it is, on my phone. So I'm like, they could, um, I translated this thing in Japanese. I have this book that's all in Japanese characters, and I'm gonna keep it and read it. It's gonna take me a really long time. Okay, this is why I have no friends, right? Like, I had a couple guys, like, hang out, but it wasn't for any kind of, like, friendship or romance or anything. And I was, like, hoping maybe it would be, or just saying, well, sometimes people come in and out of your life. During the times I was, like, texting these people, I um, prayed for them and just sent happy vibes to the universe, their direction, just try to, like, say, hang in there with whatever you're struggling with, or if you're going through school and working full time, like I've been there, done that, like kind of thing. Um, I I've never find any women that I have like no energy. I'm like not getting stuff done. And I have like these injuries, and I was just watching this lady. She changed that lady that was brown sugar something. She changed her name to Black City Girl Prepper, I think. And she was talking about this home visit that they came too early in the morning, and they were looking at her house, so they were trying to see if it was messy or so. Everything was super tidy. I was like, oh, good for you. Um, I didn't finish watching it. That's really loud. How many times do you hear me? It's like, oh my gosh, I want to just open the windows, get some atmosphere in my room, turn on my salt lamp, burn my candle, light my incense. So I don't know why I was talking about this lady. Trying to be friends with this lady. I've subscribed to her a long time ago. She just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm trying to promote your channel, and you could be watching this video. That's the reason I said that, is I make videos, I don't post them, and I told people to watch one of your videos. I didn't remember the numbers behind that brown sugar. So sorry, it sounds pretty creepy. Oh yeah, you did motivate me. So if you're watching this video, you motivated me to do better at like tidying, because I just come home from I have like 4 or 5 jobs, and I come home and like collapse. I'm a single mom, so I walked through the house and I was trying to be really quiet the other day, and 1 or 2 children were sleeping downstairs. It's hot upstairs, and our beds are inadequate, and there's a futon and a big couch, and there's a fold-out couch bed up here, but it's not being used right now. It's really hot and stuff. Oh my god, I tiptoed, and somebody had thrown a bottle across the floor. I just talked about, like, having my animals, and you walk through the room because you're hungry, the animal starts squawking, and it wakes up the kids, and the kids get mad, and they huff and puff, and especially my son, he's like, not, he is one, like, you really don't want to wake him up. Um, him and his dad, like, they really, like, when they need to sleep, they need to sleep. Me and my daughter, we need to sleep, we just don't. For some reason, I don't know why, overstimulated. I always really have stuff to do, and I'm forcing myself to do it. If I had took a nap earlier, I probably would be up doing stuff before someone, like, vacuuming and stuff. Um, for my son, or somebody threw a bottle. I was trying to tiptoe, turn the lights off, try to tiptoe up the stairs. Sometimes I'll grab, like, a water or a banana or something, feed the animals one last time, because they're gonna wait. They are gonna wait from the time. Say I went to bed at 10 or went upstairs in my little squirrel burrow. That's what I'm gonna call it, squirrel burrow. And then I wake up at 6, but people are not awake. And then I, like, weigh in, I find I'm freaking hungry, I want chocolate or something. So I might go down at 6, I might down at 5:30, I might go down at 7, depending on, sometimes my legs don't work well, so I'm, like, literally not moving. I'm not even going to the bathroom. So the animals have to wait. So sometimes I try to be quiet and feed them, but then you open and close refrigerators. No, downstairs only one room. I kind of wish we had some elbow room, but I just gotta get rid of stuff, and then there'll be more elbow room. I I I just try to feed the animals because they're gonna wait like how many hours? 7, like 9 hours, like more than 6 hours. They're gonna wait to be fed again. I don't even know how they do it. 'Cause they eat grass and they all have dry foods. They probably have their own routine of eating. Sometimes they wake up in the middle of the night and they're like, "It's time to eat." So they're like weirded out, like, "What are you doing?" But the problem is, the more I'm home, the more I eat, and the more they beg. So my guinea pigs, I haven't been working the weekend jobs. I've been home too much. The guinea pigs got like chunky. I'm like, oh my god. So I've been single, and I walked across the floor. I was starting to talk about this. I can't look at the computer. I'm like so tired. My eyes are burning my head. Maybe I should put sunglasses on. The ones I have right here are like, they're like, oh, I had like a napkin in my lap. Where are my sunglasses? Hello guys, where are my sunglasses? Sorry, I don't know what you could see just now. That was very rude of me. I know. Sorry. Ooh, my bead project. I need like sunglasses. My eyes are burning. Um, yeah, I walked on a bottle. Somebody threw it across the floor. I just shared about the people and animals. Animals tear down their water bottles, throw their dishes across the floor, and then you get the same thing with the kids. And some kids were playing, and they fell on a Pyrex or something. It broke complete, and they had like a huge gash on their back. And one of the kids from the old church, and they had to go get stitches. So I got like really paranoid about dishes, like even the plastic one. I actually put one on the floor. I wish I could have like a house where you could come in an entryway. If it's not a formal foyer, um, with a little sitting area and a place for packages, coats, and umbrellas and shoes, and then have it another inner area that has a place for like put the purses, backpacks, stuff. Um, you don't want someone like coming to the door like, oh, like your neighbors say, oh, I came to get some sugar, and you're like, I'll be come in out of the rain, I'll be right back. You don't want your purse there, and they're gonna be like steal it or see where you put your stuff, or if someone's taking a nap on the couch, you don't want them seeing your whole house. It's like so crazy. I can't complain. People lost their houses in this flood. A lot of people live in trailers and stuff, and in the back of their car. Often, almost every time I go to the store here, and we're in kind of like suburbia. I'm in, like I said, the projects, but we're embedded within a suburban type neighborhood. When I go to the store here, you pretty much park next to somebody who looks like they're living in their car. Like, 'cause they'll have like all these blankets and stuff on the back windows, or it'll be a literal RV. That's like, it's not like, oh look, I got here and these people are um, here at the same time, we're leaving at the same time. It's like, it looks like you saw that one every time you came to that store that week. And I actually, when I lost my job, was scoping out a place to go live in my car with my kids because that's how broke I had been. And thank God that I'm not. So that's another, like, I don't want to sound like I'm money hungry, that's another irk that I have. People use people for money, and it's like I usually was I wish I could look at the camera. I usually let's go like this. It's gonna make it dark. Oh yeah, it does make it dark. It's because I have really dark skin. So it's basically just reflecting the white from my my screen. So I had to shrink the viewer down. So basically, I really don't like gold diggers. Like most of the people that I dated, which was like this many, were except for the regatta guy who traveled the world. They pretty much didn't have any job or any money, and they frequently got fired from jobs. And there was drug, alcohol usage at young ages, which wasn't that noticeable from their appearance, but some of their actions or some of the families. A couple of these guys came from some pretty rough family backgrounds, white guys, and the guy from Puerto Rico was probably doing pretty well as far as being in the Marines. He's probably getting some kind of income. The only thing with him is, I don't know. I think we both drink quite a bit. So that was like, who knows? He's like, oh, we had to go. They take us every Friday, Saturday to Tijuana to like art. I don't know what it is when you're like. I don't know a lot about the terminology for Marines. So you're like your leader of your thing takes the boys, takes the guys over the border, and so that was probably my brother actually knew my ex-husband before I did, because there was a group of guys that would paint and empty out houses, and so he knew these guys knew each other, and it was weird finding out. Small town, like it was a city, probably I don't know, maybe the same size as Portland, I don't know. Small, like coincidence. Anyways, it was a mess how I met this guy, and then I got married. Both of our moms died in 1998. They both died at the same time. And then I was married, and the day I got married, it was scary. Scary stuff started happening. And I didn't have red flags because of my upbringing about seeing some of the things I can think back 20 years and think about, wow, I remember when this happened, remember this happened. But nothing as severe as what happened as the day I got married. And it got real scary real fast. And I ended up isolated, no money, nothing but the clothes on my back. My Doc Martens, I showed you, the old ones. Huge dogs. Ooh, I mean, I have to get a flashlight. These are really old. Can you tell? Look at the bottoms. These are made in England. These are the Holy. These are not the original laces. So basically, I left him. We were married in 98. I left in 04. I wanted to leave like sooner than that, but I couldn't get out. And my last kid was born 01. And all I had was a couple phone numbers, and that got me out of the house into a shelter. And I cried for like 24 to 48 hours. I read my report at the final exit interview. They were like, to tell you the truth, I didn't let you know this, but the way you cried because you left your ex, I thought you'd be out of here within 24 hours. I thought you would go back to him. I cried like I did last summer. Last summer I cried because I set a bunch of boundaries, and I made a few friends, and I had fun for the first time in my life, despite feeling threatened and fearful. And I cried like for like 2 months or like 6 to 8 weeks last summer, and I lost several pounds just crying and crying and crying. And I also didn't have a lot of money for food, and I did have a few friends, so we hung out, and we were all pretty much broke. So it's not like we were going to, like, we didn't have food to share. And I was vegetarian. Yeah, I was already vegetarian last year. So people had meat. They had a lot of meat and bread that they wanted to share with me, and I couldn't. I was like, I can't eat it. And a lot of one of them is their partner, which they were ending that relationship, was really volunteering a lot at a food pantry where there's an excess amount of old meat that they brought home, and I couldn't bring it to my kids because they can't deal with a lot of expired. I do find expired meat in the freezer, and I'll bring it home to my kids, and I don't do it very often because the first time I did it, as soon as I opened the package, my daughter's like, nope, whatever you're making is rotten, I'm not eating a thing. I don't care, I don't care if I'm go hungry, and basically you go to a food pantry so that your kids don't go to bed hungry, and I'm sure we had other stuff. We got a lot of bugs, moths. I dumped open some alphabet soup or something, and I dumped, and I looked, and the whole top was covered with carcass of moths. It was so scary. And that was, it's dinner. So that happened a lot of times. That was dinner. And so you're like, oh, okay. We didn't even have Ritz crackers. We didn't even have, peanut butter and crackers. And I think we had peanut butter sometimes. But we didn't have, bread a lot. They didn't eat peanut butter and jelly. So that's a lot of my life. So I would be like, yeah, I'm not a very desirable woman. And guys don't like single moms. And I know a lot of single moms that are white, they get married really fast after leaving their exes or their ex leaving or whatever happens. A lot of them I knew were already engaged before they even got divorced, barely before the guy left. Sometimes even before the guy left the house, they were already engaged, had a nice shiny ring, wedding date, already working on the dress. And that was typically in my old church. Married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced. So I maybe 06. No, I don't even know. I'm just throwing out a number. 2000. It was maybe 06, 7, or 8. I finalized the divorce. So let's say 07. It's just that final document. They refused to sign it without me asking for child support, and that held it up a lot. And before that, I couldn't afford a divorce. And my friends you're low income, you're in transitional housing, you're on welfare, you can't find a job. There's a waiver. She goes, I know because I got one. There's a waiver for that. It's $300 something fee. So you get separation, you have a fee, and you have to pay for these classes and all parenting classes and all this stuff. And I had to get a babysitter because they only have babysitters during the day at the courthouse, and take night classes on how to be a parent. I was like, how to stay alive because someone's trying to kill you and take your kids away from them. Why can't he take the parenting class? It was so stupid. And then, not that I have anything against parenting classes, it's just you're forced. You're already being proactive about your children's safety, and then they don't give you, I don't know. I took several parenting classes after that because I was so exhausted and so tired that I struggled to have energy to maintain the house after parenting. So I was trying to have efficient parenting. I'm going to have to use my phone as a light. Okay. We're just talking in the dark. No, I will, oh yeah, if I hold something white next to me, it'll work. So, I went, after the divorce, I was like this one guy before the divorce. My kid's no, you can't like anyone. You're still married to my dad. You wait until the papers go through. So the little kids were always like, Mama, do not do that. Oh my God, this milk is 1 day past expired. Throw it out. If in doubt, throw it out. Oh my God, you're going 1 mile past the speed limit. Mom, you need to slow down now. They were really strict. So they were do not like this guy, Mommy. It's embarrassing. I don't want to talk to him. My daughter is an elephant. She remembers everything. I'm embarrassed to talk to you about it, but it's not a secret. This guy did not like me. Nobody that I liked me, and me and my friend last year. I don't talk to any of my friends except for one person now. 2 people. New friends that I made recently. Let's see how it works. We went through a list of qualities of the man we liked. She had a bunch of marriages. She couldn't remember how many. And I had one that was just a nightmare. And I, again, like the shootings of my daughter walking home and having my car break down in the ghetto. It's dangerous. Your car breaks on the side of the road too, and the highway and stuff. You're stalling out in the middle of the freeway. You're don't always make it to the shoulder. So we're lucky to be alive through all of that stuff, through the flash floods, through the homelessness, through the rattlesnakes crawling under our sleeping bags, or nearly crawling under our sleeping bags. So I pretty much went to medical school for naturopathic medical school, so I work as a doctor, but I make like nothing. I make a negative income, and so that's why I'm a vendor on the weekends. And the vendor on the weekends, I think, helps keep my sanity. You work like 2, 3, 4 days, and the amount of money you make is what I should make 4 hours as a doctor, and it's really really humbling. Um, but it pays me more than I make as a doctor. Like, so I should be making a certain amount minimum, but I don't. So if I was an employee somewhere, I would be making that minimum, and I could literally work like 15 days or like 10 to 15 days a month and make tons more than I make at the weekend job. But I think that God has a plan for my life, and that I need to stay with what I'm doing. And sometimes I just want to be like, I wanted to do this in college. I thought I was going to fail out. I didn't when I was a freshman in college. I want to just drop everything, get a laptop, move to the beach, and just be a beach bum and get some dudes to teach me how to surf. That was more like, maybe I should, like, um, I looked at, there were some houses at the beach. Is it Astoria or Seaside for 79,000? It might not have been a house, it might have been a condo. My kids are like that way, but my kids are pretty much grown, so I have to, we live in housing for rooms, so it's like, I can't live here. It's not like an apartment, like, oh, you only have one person in a 3-bedroom, or 2 people in a 2-bedroom, or one person in a 2-bedroom. Like, this is like, if I'm the only one here, I don't think they're gonna let me pay to live here. I guess I could pay the full rent, but I could have bought a duplex in the West Hills for the full rent of this place. So I don't think it's, I don't know. I don't think I have a choice. My income's so low, you can't qualify. You can't qualify to live in a place unless I had to qualify to live in a place that was like $75 a month. My income. I actually have to do my income soon. So my medical school, at the time I started, I'm estimating, this is a stretch, 90% females. As people disappear, and a lot of men were on the Chinese medicine part, so we all started orientation. Naturopath. I was naturopath and Chinese medicine student, so I was a dual degree. But the majority of the men were in the Chinese medicine acupuncture program, classical Chinese medicine, and so my class was probably, literally, I kid you not, like, it was probably like 97 or 93% females. If you have a class of 100 or 120 and there's literally 3 guys, that's why I come up with that statistic. As the years went on, I feel like it got more males, but it was like predominantly females. And if there was a male, 7 or 10 males, they were definitely not single. Either they were already married or partnered up before they came, and most of the women were married or partnered up as well, or they would go through as many women. Like, there's guys, like, they date this woman for medical school, break up, date this woman, go back to this one, date this one, marry this one. Like, they would just have their pick of whoever they want, these charming rich guys. So I basically was tunnel vision into medical school, and I was at church, and I was going to meetings, and I never met anybody unless there's a couple of people, literally 2 people, that would sometimes give my kids a ride home from school, so I only knew their, the kids' dads, the kids' dads. And sometimes they'd have parties, and I'd like, kind of like crash the party because I was like scared to let my kids swim alone. There's a lot of swimming pool parties at the community center, and I would always be like, God, some of these guys and these women gotta have like, these kids gotta have like uncles that are single. Like, I was like, there's gotta be like a divine connection. It never was. Never, never, never. Like, I think the most I talked to someone at a party, and I was actually invited, like, oh wow, I was invited to like 3 parties in the past 7 years. That's pretty, that's a big number for me. Um, I talked to this guy, and he pretty much didn't speak English. And I was talking to him for a long time, and he was Japanese. And I was asking him questions about stuff. And then this lady sits next to him at the end. After I'm talking to him for like an hour and a half, I was like, oh. I was like, oh, God. I was like, your wife. I was like, you guys got no rings on your fingers. I was like, awkward. But I wasn't like flirting or anything. It was just like nobody else at the party would talk to me. And it was like midwives and their husbands and or kids. And nobody would really talk to me. So I spent most of the night downstairs with kids. And some guy was watching the kid and they kept putting marbles in their mouth. I was like, your baby's got a marble. I was like, I don't really want to like parent your kid, but I'm like, I am not comfortable watching this kid. Like, I don't know. I was just like not comfortable because I don't think they knew there was a marble hidden in the toys. And I was like, excuse me, I was like, your baby got a marble. Probably better if you put your hand in his mouth. But I was downstairs in the bouncy ball and watching kids on little, like, basically, they have it at church. No adult. They're like, no, this seat's taken. No, this whole table's taken. No, this whole row is taken. This whole church is taken. Get out. Like, that's what it ended up me leaving. And this one guy had many, he was like Abraham, like Father Abraham. He had like all his descendants. And the only table that I would ever be able to sit at, or they would sit with me, no one would let me sit at their table. So me and my kids were alone at church. And new people would come and they would be alone as well. So I'd go introduce myself to them. And because I know how it feels to be like shown like you have leprosy. And I don't know how it feels to have leprosy, but it's like you're just like, oh my God, you're diseased. Do not even breathe on me. That's how people were. And this guy's kids would, because it would be like the only empty table. His kids would always sit at my table. And I was like, I don't want to be like creepy because I'm like an adult sitting with kids. Well, all adults around me are laughing and talking about life. So it was like, yeah, I never met anybody. Um, and I'd meet a couple of people at like picnics and have like, so like this one guy I was like talking to like for like, I swear it was like 8 hours during his picnic and the fireworks. I don't know his name. We never exchanged numbers. I don't even know. Like, you don't even, it doesn't matter if you're even gay or not. Like, if you're not attracted to women. As long as you're not like in a partner, I don't want to be really hang out if you're a partner with a woman, um, a man with a woman. I got hit on once, and this guy is like, I really like you. I'm gonna start going to church with you, but I'm going away for the weekend, but I'll call you back because me and my girlfriend are going to the beach. And so I just stopped answering my phone. So I have had a couple of guys like that talked about their girlfriends. Last summer, this guy was talking to me about his girlfriend, and like, you would be a great mentor. So I was like, oh, this is awkward. So, like, you were sending me these smiley faces and like heart text, and now you're talking about your girlfriend. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. And supposedly it was a former, but you don't know what people seem. Some people seem like they break up, get back together, break up, or they're taking like, oh, I'm taking a 2-hour break from my life. You have to be careful about stuff like that. Because very well could, um, they love each other that much, and they get in a fight, they very well could be back together by tomorrow morning. I don't want to interfere. Like, they know it's over. They weren't trying to be romantic with me, but I don't want to be having them doing like a booty call or something and be like, oh, let's get back together. We actually like each other. And then me sending a good morning text as a friend. Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, who's that? Like, I don't want. I think I'm really paranoid about men and about people. People at church used to yell at me because I was on a team I'm like a tomboy, so I was on a team with men, and people would say I'm strong, so they make me do these things, like yard work that was for strong people, like men. So I would be like teamed up with men, and I was totally not. I don't know how to flirt, so I wasn't. I was just like, this is the work of God. Like that's all in my mind. I was like a nun, and I am. I had a conversation. I'm not going to share it right now. Yeah, women would come up to me and start yelling or yelling at their husband for talking. Like it's like you're crazy. Like you're absolutely crazy. Like I had so much respect for people's marriages. Like I had so much respect for them being together, raising their kids, and there's no way I want to. Like I just want to remain modest and neutral. But I think I find myself hiding from society because, like I said, I was doing a Fatal Attraction study this week, and I'm kind of like weirded out by that movie. But I was like praying and meditating, and God was like, "Get that movie now from the library." So it was like 3 days later, it comes, and I watched it twice, and it like freaked me out. I mean, stuff happens. That's the problem. That's why I was trying to be like really like distant from people. But all those years that I'm telling you, I was in one or more abusive relationships at the same time. Narcissistic abusive relationship, whether it's an intimate partner or parents or relatives, and I would get phone calls from these abusers. I would be beaten by abusers, and so I'd put my walls up against everybody. So last year it was like having an opportunity to just hang for a couple of weeks with some people, and they were not the most. They weren't friendly. They weren't like, buddy, I'm gonna return your calls when. Well, I'm actually gonna follow through and meet up with you when I say we will, when we make plans, and not stand you up 100 times. Like those are the kind of things these people did, and it's okay. I'm like really about to fall asleep. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I said this week, I'm like, I'm giving up like on everything, and all the thing that goes through my mind is Job never gave up. He kept the faith. So it's like it's not keeping the faith. Like nothing that I could do as a human. Um, I don't think I could pay somebody to go out with me. Like, could you like come to Carl Jr. with me and like eat a salad and like pretend we're on a date? Like I don't think I could pay anybody. I wouldn't be able to afford it anyways. But I'm like, I just have to have faith that it's like faith in my higher power that I'm supposed to just stay single, and that things made me stay single most of my life. Um, I had some like bad like one night stands when I was pushing buttons on accident when I was in college, and I would be like so depressed for the rest of the week because I would think, oh, this person's hanging out with me, they got my number, it was so fun, it was like you're so close with this stranger, and yes, you don't know their last name, or you might not even know their first name. Like my mind grew up thinking that sex was going to turn into a relationship because I just watched TV, and the only closest I saw, I didn't see relationships in my family or anything. I didn't see bonded relationship behavior, so I only saw really, really bad, unhealthy stuff, and that's their prerogative, but that's not how I want to be. I ended up like that because I thought it was normal. I literally thought abuse was normal. I just thought you're a punching bag. Like, that's, God made you to be punched. So when you have that your whole life for 40 years, I realized last year when I cut contact that I was blocking the world out, and pretty much the people that came through were other predators that were looking for something from me, whether it be money or a ride. She's like, oh, she's got a nice car. Let's get permanent rides from her. Housing for homeless dudes. Like, people, like, I thought this guy was my boyfriend, and I'm pretty sure he was two-timing, and I looked online because his partner died, actually, and I looked at this guy, and, like, I was with him, and he got a phone call saying that she was pregnant, and then he stopped talking to me, and then I'm thinking in my heart, like, oh my god, he was, like, with this woman and with me at the same time, and when I went off to college, he knew that I was going off to college, so he took advantage of, like, two-timing until I went to college, and then he, married this woman and had 5 or 6 kids. And I don't know if she had one previously, because I was looking at the dates from her obituary. I was like, oh my god. I was like, and my ex-husband was like, oh, I was two-timing you. Like, these guys were saying, oh, I was two-timing you. This other guy that I was dating was one of my husband's best friends, which before I was, like, hanging out with him. I say dating, but it was like we just hung out a few times. He was basically going back and forth between this house with one woman and me. And supposedly the whole time he was always gone, he was walking his dog. But he was basically, like, screwing around with multiple women. And she was a biker, like a blonde biker chick, little, but frisky. And we found out about it because we were hanging out. And, we actually, like, I was actually happy that that we didn't fight. She was tough. She always wore black leather vest. She was really little. I know I've hung out with a lot of really little women. They are someone you don't want to mess with. Like, fight, run. They can't do anything. They're so fast. And we confronted him. We went out to him and we're like, oh my god, let's break up with him. Like, and it's just, during that phase, I was a partier. So he was like hanging out around the house and he wouldn't go away. And my friend was gay, but his friend, I think, was in a partnership. They weren't dating, as far as I know. And that guy had gone crazy on drugs, and he was outside for 24 to 48 hours, yelling at the sky. And we ended up in New Jersey. Like, let's just say it that way. We ended up far away. Like, and I told you that I had been hanging out. I happened to become friends with this guy that was like my opposite twin. And we happened to get along, and he happened to hook me up with hanging out at clubs, I hooked him up with kind of going to, like, raves to dance. I just love dancing and the music and the atmosphere and the glitter and the smoke machines or the fog machines. And he liked gay bars and similar atmosphere, the disco lights and the people and the after parties and the music, which was the biggest thing. I wouldn't just go and sit and stare at a wall. I want to dance. Like, I'm like a dancer, you know. And I oh my god, I hate when they put spiders on Yahoo News. I can't scroll those. Especially at night. It's like, no, I don't want to see that before I go to bed. Anyways, this is boring. It is getting boring. I'm holding this rag because I'm, like, too dark for the camera to see me. And I'm like, oh, guess what, guys? I look really, really exhausted. It's like, this is like, I don't even recognize myself. I look so tired. I tried online dating, and then I had to remediate a test. So I was, like, distracted, looking, emailing guys, and 100% of them were not interested in me. God, that rejection was really, really, really intense. And I knew a lot of blonde hair, blue eyed women that were getting all these dates and kind of being to pick and choose who they wanted to be boyfriend or marry from online dating, but that they were desirable from their picture, and I was not. Nobody even tried to get to know. They're just like, no way. Like, sorry, kid. Um, I don't know how many. That was many, many years ago. So it's going on 10 years, but it's probably like 6 years ago, maybe 5. And then I did one little stint of Craigslist. And when I took one of my board exams, I felt like I was like, get on online dating again. When I got off online dating, that website, I got like a bunch of viruses like within like 12 hours. I was like, oh my god. Because they like send an email about, do a survey. I was like, oh my god, I might have downloaded a virus. That was really freaky. For like I was really scared. I had another account that I set up and then I closed it like really fast because I was really scared about the information that I posted on some random dating site. So I had like a little, like a 2-week stint maybe with that or less. And anything else is like survival mode. Like it became like take yourself out of the shell and not block yourself off the world because you're being abused by a couple people. Like you're blocking yourself off to billions of people because of one or two other people. But then like I opened up to other people and got really hurt within the past year. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like for dating and or for women and or males relationships, like friendships, nobody's really interested in hanging out with me. Nobody's really interested in like the type of music I like or the books I read or there's some really old people that they have that kind of interest and like I found out somebody likes not astrophysics, it was some type of physics. I was like, oh, I'm into like I was like really excited. Like someone else was talking about astronomy, but I talked to these ladies outside of our group outside in a church parking lot, and they're like, "All right, I can't stand like my body is like breaking. Like they wouldn't necessarily be the type that you're like, oh my god, let's go hiking or let's just walk around the park or let's go mall walking." And there's some serious mall walkers at the same age group, but they're like really intense. And I'm like, dude, I might see you at the mall. I'll wave, but you will be lapping me until I you'll be lapping me, and I'm not gonna be able to keep it. I will like mess up your until I get in shape and actually can do it. But yeah, I couldn't even exercise after I was in a car accident and for a while. And this lady yelled at me. She was like, "Oh, let's hang out. Let's be friends. Oh, I jog. Oh, I do this. Oh, I do that." And then she's like, "Oh my god, you only walked to Fred Meyer once. You're such like." As a naturopath, you should be in better shape than that. And it just like, I could barely walk or drive. And I was like, that was kind of a big deal. And I don't like doing things by myself. Smoke alert. Oh, Banks fire. Everyone is closing again because the fire is going crazy. I gotta go. Um, it is what it is, you know. I meet people that are missing limbs and eyes and have glass eyes or no eye or no teeth or they're deaf. They used to be able to hear. Um, I met somebody, let's just say like restaurant hotel industry. I didn't get to talk to this person about it, but that was their history, and they had complete brain damage because of the incident, and they were still trying to be that person who's very like I don't know if that word charismatic is even the right word. I don't even know. I shouldn't use words, but I was trying to be social with them, but it's basically garble coming out of their mouth because of this brain injury, and wow, it's like so I gotta put it in perspective, like these people are still breathing and alive, but life is a different like fighting game. And when I was in my 20s, when I was in my teens, 20s, 30s, I was always like, maybe I'll meet Mr. Right. Like, I had bad relationships. Maybe there's someone out there compatible with me. And so far, nothing. Um, and what's even scarier for me is just being completely single. Like, there's like no movies with men or women. There's no being invited to barbecues or picnics. There's no, like, people go to each other's weddings, and people I thought were my friends, and they're talking amongst the group, and everyone else is invited to a wedding or housewarming or potluck for holidays. I'm not invited. And so it's really hard. Like, they don't have to invite me. They're adults. They can choose who they invite to their house. But I get kind of bummed. And then I used to invite people over, and then my house would be cleaner because people would come over, and then they stopped coming. They'd say they come, and I think I fell into like a depression, and it's just like, I'm tired all the time. I'm hungry all the time. I promise I'm not going to waste money on food, and then I go into severe credit card debt, and you see me say, oh my god, I got to come up with $1,200 by Monday. And that's basically because I decided that besides me being hungry, the kids and the animals are hungry. And I try to keep a lot of food for them, maybe too much. And so then I'm like, because you don't want it to go bad. I don't have like one of those big freezers. And the freezer I had needs to be cleaned out because it smells like old food. And so it's like this tug of war. And then I meet these few guys with lingering eye contact. And I was like, what does that mean? And if they're really jolly and not nervous, typically then their wife comes up behind them and is like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, awkward. But if they're like super nervous and they're like really weird and like bald, no offense, I don't have anything against bald guys, but sometimes their hair that they try to keep and the hair they don't have doesn't match up very well. But look at me. I have like hardly any hair on my headband. I have like gray underneath my gray headband. So I can't judge. My hair came in my head socially unacceptable. So I'm not here to judge your hair. It's just like my age group having dated somebody. People in the 90s were the only times I dated people, and they all had a lot of hair that wasn't great. So it's just weird for me, because I know like guys that would dump their wives because they gained weight when they had kids, and then they're looking at their own bare belly in their stomach or in the mirror with their bald hair, and then they're still be able to date 20, 30-year-olds and cheat behind their wife's back until she divorces them, and so breaking up families and stuff. So I don't want to be like that person. Like, oh, I don't like this. But I was like, the last time I ever dated somebody was like, um, when I was a teenager, from the time I was a teenager till the time I was 21, was the only times I dated somebody, and it wasn't even dating. It was like supposedly we were together, we talk on the phone, but we didn't like go out to movies or anything. It would be like, I tried once, and my parents wouldn't let me. I think I ended up going anyways, but it wasn't like a date because it ended up being a big mess. And he was a crazy driver, and it scared me because I thought I was getting a car accident. There was like, um, probably guys between 19 and 23. So I've only dated guys in that for, so I've only dated guys between 19 and 23 when I was less than 28, less than 27. I hung out with some guy last summer. He was that same age group, but 24. I was like, awkward. Like, I couldn't tell his age. She was a veteran. It was really like mature behaving. Um, God, that was crazy. But it wasn't dating at all. Just hanging out. I was just hanging. Let's hang out. I keep knocking stuff over. Um, so that was like the last time that guy was the last person, male or female, that I, like, casually, it wasn't like a business or like a church or some kind of counseling. It was like casually telling each other about our lives and a little bit about our upbringing and stuff, like a little bit. And so that was like the last time. Like, I like to get to know people and to, like, send them happy thoughts and keep in touch by phone. Like, that's fun. That's really fun for me. So it hasn't really happened much since last year. And so it's like, I don't know. I just gotta take a nap because I'm like so tired. I'm gonna tell my kids to make some chicken or something. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a banana. I'm trying to buy less and less food, and then I get like food hoarding where the food gets old, and so the bananas, there's like fruit flies in the kitchen. I'm tired of holding this like a pillow. It's making me fall asleep. So that's part 3. That was really boring. Um, but oh, like, oh my god, my hair is like all crazy. I'm gonna put this in the bathroom because I put like oil in my hair, and then it's like look how tired I am. I'm surprised. Like, my eyes look bloodshot to me, but I'm from like my grandma, single with 2 kids. My mom legally married, but my dad even lived. He had his own place, his own apartment. So brother, as far as I know, never got married. My cousin, who doesn't talk to me, got married once, or when she was older, never had kids of her own. Other cousin had 3 kids, starting when she was 16 or 17. As far as I know, she wasn't married, and her sister got married late, but had at least 2 kids. And she was like, "Oh, be careful you call my sister, because her boyfriend lives there, and he's gonna be mad if she's on the phone at night, and he's gonna be mad if you call, and he's gonna be mad if you even." Like, she was just like, I was like, oh god. So, several women that I met with my kids, or without my kids, from my family, my dad's side, were widowed or divorced. I don't know. Probably widowed and never with anybody else. And then, my dad's other cousin never married, and she lives in Detroit. So she's like, y'all gotta be careful because these guys nowadays, you see, you got a job, you got a car, you get some money. These women find. She's like, these women, they find dead in their house. These guys steal their money, steal their jewelry. Like, these guys just looking for money. Like, oh god, she scared me. Like, she's like, oh. She goes, I go, do you date guys? Like, no, only. She goes, only guys be talking to me, it's young guys. Like, I don't know what they looking for. But that was like her. That I don't talk to her anymore because she talks to somebody who talks to somebody, and it breaks my heart that I'm having to protect my family from dangerous relatives. It really breaks my heart, but I'm being proactive here. I just see one of our relatives, perfectly clean house, pictures all over the wall. I think one of the children was crazy. They had been scared. I called them a few times. Basically, they had a living room, a TV, and a Bible. Nice, perfectly clean, spotless house and yard. And they own the property. I don't know if it's a pink Cadillac or a gray Cadillac, some kind of Cadillac church car. The church was right across the yard, but drove their Sunday church car with their Sunday best. And I'm like, I was just about to start crying because I'm like, if it be thy will, oh God, for me to sit in a rocking chair. I used to have a rocking chair as a kid, so I was like, I'm going to be that old lady. I'm going to end up with the second floor. Freaking sky is so red. What in the world? Like, I mean, yeah, there's streetlights out there, so, but it's like, I think it's hazy again from the forest fires. So, like, let's check. I'm like imagining myself sitting in a rocking chair saying, yep, I remember back in 2016, I said, gee, I'm single, so single, part 3. Like, and I'm like if I was in the rocking chair rocking back and forth and I could get up and go to the store and I don't know if you would be allowed to squeeze something like, oh, youngster, thank you for buying up my groceries. I don't think you're allowed to. Yeah, it doesn't say the air quality is bad right now. I don't think you're allowed to touch people anymore. Squeeze your cheeks, yo, youngster. Oh god, it is bad. I was like, it is awful. Like, hazy outside. The air quality is bad again. Oh my god. What? What? Plotlands. They said it's good, but our air quality is in the orange. It's unsafe for sensitive groups. I gotta figure out something. I didn't even vacuum today. I feel like a lazy bum. But if I'm alive and my kids are alive and my animals are alive, last I checked, and I'm about to go to bed, and I'm actually could see my reorganizing. You're not gonna see anything. I'm gonna go behind you. Oh, I guess you see anything that's not my brown skin. What did I put all over the floor? Books. I'm gonna go in here and grab a blanket. So I just have to I have to get through being abused. I haven't found any people to help me. I haven't found any how do you say this? I gotta watch this. I wore this to hospital and I kind of freaked out to wear them. I don't wear them. I do care about. I'm gonna go out in the hallway and shake it out. You can see the blanket. So basically, it's somebody in the community died, and there's a lot of people outside, and it's there's no, you have to find joy in what you have. So, a lot of people in this neighborhood, they have a lot of family and husbands and money and children and nice cars, new cars, cars for their kids, luxury cars for their kids, and they have a pretty good life. And I can be jealous of their material things, but then they're mad because I'm thin. And I'm like, part of why I'm thin is because I couldn't afford to eat. So it's I couldn't afford food, and that's why I'm not eating. But I'm eating. I bought 3 things of olive oil. So it was drinking olive oil. I keep telling you guys, what kind of life is that, And olive oil is not cheap. But I've been so broke that I just have to buy the olive oil in plastic or refillable tubs from the bulk section. So, I mean, I'm okay with that. I really want to wash these things. They're making me paranoid. I want to wash them. The rest of the closet to do. Oh, God. So it's now that the day is over, now I'm all motivated and I'm tired and I'm oh, I have all this stuff to do that I didn't finish. And I'm not having an easy time. Um, and I have a really hard time doing stuff alone, so I get really just money hungry. I don't want to look needy. Oh, I really, it'd be nice to have someone to say goodnight to you every night, or something like that. It's like if I've gone, after I got married, it wasn't like I was married. It was like I was a servant. It's like my cue to go. Anyways, either there's like a really big fly outside my window, or somebody's cutting someone's hair, or do you hear that? Oh my god! I'm like, why does that happen? What is that noise? Might be the neighbor's air conditioning, but it doesn't sound right. Anyways, that's my cue. This was part 3, and basically, I'm being a whiny brat, but I'm being real with you guys. Like, it's like being that person who, I don't know, that song was really weird, and I stubbed my toe, and I'm really mad about it. Being that person who's like, trying to, be, it's almost like that whole, like, if you're mean and you're a jerk, you have friends and you get invited to barbecues. But if you're like kind and helpful and offering people rides and offering them to come over for dinner, like they don't give you the time of day. If you like tell the truth, or you get sick and say I'm not coming to your party because I'm sick, instead of just not showing up. What is that noise? Oh my god. So I just sometimes feel like there's not really much I can do. If it's a friendship or dating, you really can't, like, I'm this person and I'm being myself, and these people have an adult choice of whether they want to hang with me or not, and so far the people haven't wanted to. So I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. Um, so I mean, pretend this is my rocking chair. I'm on my old lady rocking chair. I have to just be grateful that my house is standing, even if I don't own it, and that last time I checked, my car worked, and there's still half a watermelon in the fridge, a whole bag of lettuce for the guinea pig. Like, I have to put it in perspective, and sometimes I want to have, like, somebody with extra energy. Like I never had a baby shower, wedding shower. Like, I don't know any of that stuff is. Like, sometimes I'm like, what if I had this boyfriend and he's like, oh, you've been working so hard. You need to put your feet out. Let me go get deli food for the kids and pick your daughter up from work and let you rest for 2 hours. Like, I shouldn't be needy like that and think I want somebody to do that, because it's not that person's responsibility. Like, the kid's dad should help pick them up from work and school, right? So then it's like, oh, you should just hire Uber and order pizza. Like, oh yeah, that costs money. So it's like, it does become this, like, what if this happened once in my life? Like, did my kid's dad ever take my daughter to preschool? No. Even on his days off? No. So it's like, I'm not used to anybody else doing that, and I've never had the money to pay people. I offered to pay people with my student loan money, and they knew how poor we were. It's like, yeah, right, you can't afford it, but student loan money gets you living in graduate school like a entry level job or more, a lot more money than I have now. And I wish I didn't borrow it. I wish to God I didn't borrow a penny. So then it becomes this, like, God, I prayed and I meditated about what to do to follow the path of my life. And I'm living in severe poverty. And I'm struggling without friends or without people to, like, lean my head on their shoulder, and so it becomes, anyways. I was gonna try to do this home visit, and these people didn't contact me back. So, anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm just babbling on and on. It gets really hard. It gets really, really hard. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Even people apparently that said that they are surrounded by friends that go out clubbing. There's sometimes people still feel like they're only like interacting on a superficial level. So